All right. How is it going, my magnificent sons of bitches? And I'm back again today because I wanted to go ahead and talk about the CM Punk media scrum from A&W Rasslin. Watching the sheer fear on Tony Khan's face as it pertains to the CM Punk mental breakdown, the breakdown of A&W as a whole, and basically the direction of professional wrestling as it is. I don't watch any professional wrestling. I don't watch. If I was to suggest something to watch NWA. Impact isn't as good as it used to be, and we see the product in A&W wrestling, and you see the product in WWE. But this is ultimately the reason why I don't really watch. What's up, Scott? The product anymore. And you know what? In case anybody wants to join me, uh, I'll go ahead and drop this in the comment section and make a comment real quick. And then later on, if anybody else wants to join in, go ahead. Feel free to join in. Whenever I'm uh, talking about this, this is one of the reasons why I don't really too much care for the product anymore. It's all straight drama, 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 and the market's saturated with drama. Whenever you look at politics, it's nothing but drama. Whenever you look at Hollywood, it's nothing but drama. Whenever you look at sports, it's becoming nothing but drama. And ultimately, at the end of the day, whenever you see the stupid stuff and just the sheer terror, and this makes no sense because people are saying it's a work. And if it's a work, it's stupid. It's just dumb. Whoever came up with the idea should be fired. They should be let go because in no way, shape, or form is this going to get interest. I'm not going to tune in to fucking AEW wrestling to see what was going on the next night because I honestly didn't care. The thing is that CM Punk, while he's over there talking about Kenny Omega, while he's over there talking about um, the Bucks of Youth, the Young Bucks, whenever he's talking about MJF and he's talked about these people um, appeasing a marginalized niche audience, like he claims, CM Punk doesn't understand that his audience is the same niche audience. So for this to have really done anything and to make any waves, first off, it would have had to happen on the show. It would have had to cause a stir in the product in and of itself. Like, whenever Hogan turned heel, that was a big deal. Everybody was used to seeing Hogan. Everybody understood that Hogan had been a kind of like what John Cena is now. He was just always a face. For him to come back to wrestling and turned heel, that was a big deal for the business as a whole, and the business really needed it at that point in time. Um, AEW doesn't have that buzz. It's not WCW. It's not even TNA Impact. Whenever TNA Impact was at its heights, it's not that. You can call it the number two company in wrestling all you want to, but wrestling is a product that is essentially dying. And the reason why is because you get a lot of this. This is the problem. AEW was a generic company to begin with. You had people like Cody Rhodes and Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks coming in and acting as these EVPs, as CM Punk likes to call them. Go ahead and highlight some of these comments here. Um, just go through the comments a little bit. But yeah, and I did leave a link in the if you want to come in, chime in, tell me what you think. Looks like I got a guest coming in. Hang on. All right. What's up, man?
What's up, dude?
Not a lot. Just going over this media scrum while I'm letting some barbecue marinate right now.
Yeah, I mean, as always, fucking CM Punk. He takes his ball from WWE, took it to AEW. Now he's taking it back home. It's like it's the same old shit with this guy always.
Well, I
Always
don't know
crying
who's
about something.
I don't know whose podcast I heard this on, and maybe you can confirm it for me, but I heard it. And something like Fox had come to terms with like WWE, and they really wanted Punk back on the show. They felt like, hey, Punk comes back, you'll have another ratings getter. It could probably increase ratings. We would really like Punk, and Fox was willing to go ahead and pay the salary, but WWE didn't want him back on the roster. Is there any truth to that?
I mean, I heard somebody saying the exact same thing. I don't know if we heard it from the same source, but I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, look at all the fucking problems he caused when The Rock was there. He was, talking all the shit about The Rock. Um, he was just a shit stirrer. And so for him to get this mad that what Hangman Adam Page went into business for himself, how many times did CM Punk do shit like that? I mean, I think he even talked about how The Rock was in the hotel the night before their whole promo exchange in January of 2013. And CM Punk told The Rock that he doesn't he doesn't go over what he's going to say before he says it. He just goes out and says it. So isn't that fucking hypocritical that he would say that to The Rock, but then gets mad that Hangman Page goes out and freestyles? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and looking at the roster and looking at and like I said, the product as far as AEW is concerned, as far as I'm concerned, it's always been kind of generic. None of these guys could really work, and so I mean, it's always been kind of like one of those shows to where it's like a lot of the indie stars that kind of overrate themselves, anyways. The thing is whenever CM Punk came in, and I know that you were kind of a fan whenever he came in, and I thought that this was kind of weird whenever I first saw it. And this is the first thing that I noticed was that he came in, and I don't know if he was trolling everybody or what the hell he was doing, but if you didn't notice, he kind of did like a reverse pipe bomb. Whereas whenever he was leaving WWE, it was, oh, WWE did him wrong, WWE did him bad, and John Cena to just the opposite with Darby Allin this, and oh, he wish he could have worked with this talent sooner. And to watch his media scrum, one of the best questions that I thought that I saw, this was probably the best thing that kind of like flat ass made me laugh, was whenever they were like, well, whenever you came into AEW, you said with them bringing in Adam Cole and Daniel Bryan, it was kind of like gave you a feel of the Cole and Nash going to WCW, and then it kind of caught him off guard because now he has to eat crow, which is to me fucking hilarious. And you have people calling it a work. Do you think it's a work? Because if it's a work, I think it's stupid if it's a work.
Here's what I can say. If it's a work, I've seen little indicators that might point to that. First of all, they just got done with the MJF shit. MJF cut a promo like 3 months ago saying that fuck Tony Khan, and he's always hinting that he's going to sign with WWE. So that was pretty much confirmed to be a work the night CM Punk did this fucking media scrum. Um, On top of that, they had a backstage fight a couple of weeks ago with what's his name, Eddie Kingston and Sammy Guevara. On top of that, Thunder Rosa had some sort of backstage incident. So there's been a lot of incidents that have been happening backstage, and kind of like a rumor was that they were planning all these fake stories to get interested in their product. So with all that being the case, and then for CM Punk to do what he did, it just seems like too much of that same type of shit going on. And then also, when did you see the part where the security started running right in front of the fucking cameras? Oh, the security's running to the back. Come on, right in front of the fucking cameras. Then Jericho goes to Tony Khan and says some shit went down right in front of the cameras. You know what I mean? It's just all this shit's happening right in front of the cameras. And it just seems that part of it could be a work. The part that makes no fucking sense is, like I said, MJF just came back. CM Punk spent no time talking at all about him. All he wanted to talk about is Colt Cabana, who in the grand scheme of things is a fucking relevant. So why focus all that time on Colt Cabana? It don't make any sense. It really don't. Like,
Yeah.
what's the purpose of this
And
work
the whole thing about it is, right?
if it
It,
is?
okay, the whole point is okay, if it's a work, right? And you're
Uh,
another wrestler, right? Let's say you're Roman Reigns and your contract's about to come up. Now, Tony Khan in the market, going to throw out all this money. Would you really want to go to an organization like AEW Wrestling with this bullshit going on? You know what I'm saying? It doesn't, it seems like an act of desperation. Like ultimately, it's not going to make me tune in to AEW because I'd have to be following AEW for me to even understand it. I don't even know Adam Page. I don't know none of these people. I don't know. A lot of people don't. I know MJF. He's got talent. I'll give them that. Um, but outside of it, I would have to be familiar with the product. Most people are not familiar with CM Punk to the point of, wow, CM Punk did this. I'm going to tune in. You know what I'm saying? He it's to a marginalized niche audience that they talk about, but it's not going to bring in any more ratings. You know what I'm saying? Uh, so it's not going to bring in any more interest. It'll get the wrestling people buzzed. It'll get them talking, but it's not going to get them talking about the product. It's getting them talking about the media scrum and the drama going on. So it's not essentially going to help your product at all. To me personally, if this is a work, then it's dumb. You know what I'm saying? How does this help, this bickering and this fighting and this backstabbing and this Twitter fucking beef shit? How is that going to make me interested in watching AEW as a product? You'll get some heat on CM Punk. You may even get Kenny Omega's name out there, but you may even get the Young Bucks name, but it's not going to make me interested in watching AEW as a product. I guarantee the ratings didn't move up exponentially. Plus, CM Punk wasn't even there, so they didn't even really build off any kind of real momentum. They stripped him of the title. They stripped them of the title. And the only thing really at the end of the day, yeah, it's good for like people that talk about wrestling. Your Jim Cornettes, your Conans, your Eric Bischoffs, and a bunch of other people that don't really watch because I haven't kept up with this new YWC that's out there. And I don't really have a lot of interest. I've watched some of their videos, and it's just I have no interest. There's like no interest in it whatsoever. But I don't get how this is going to bring interest into AEW. It's not going to bring in another audience. I don't see how. Do you?
I mean, if this was a work, what they should do if they're gonna run around about the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega being the EVPs, put them on fucking camera, give them a position of power on camera, like they're CM Punk's boss, and then kind of try and run that whole. It wouldn't never live up to the Austin McMahon thing, but if you're gonna try and do this, then make it about they got the power. They're trying to hold him down. That's where he shines the most, being a little crybaby bitch. I mean, at least when Austin did it, he was a badass. He wasn't a fucking crybaby. But CM Punk is such a natural crybaby. I just feel like if they're going to do a work, there's ways they could have made this work. Um, I'm the more I sit here and think about it, I truly believe CM Punk's ego got the best of him again. Um, I mean, like this motherfucker gets upset over every little thing. So I can believe that he was that upset and that mad because the dirt sheet writers are reporting things about him, and he made fucking Colt Cabana more relevant than MJF the night MJF returned after 3 months of being off TV. How
So
the
you're
fuck do you
saying
do that?
so you're saying that it'd be better if they booked Colt Cabana versus CM Punk than MJF versus CM
I don't remember who it was, but somebody said Dutch Mantel or fucking Russo or somebody said have Jim Ross do a sit down with Colt Cabana and respond to CM Punk. That's what they should have done on Dynamite or something.
Yeah,
Fuck, at least that'd be something. They
that
didn't
would
do
probably be
shit.
better than what they did. Yeah. And like I said, it's like they have there's no continuity. There's no consistency. These guys, like I said, everybody is trying the matches are too long as well. You get too many false finishers. And then, you throw this drama stuff on top of it, and you're looking at it as a viable company to WWE that has a long-standing history. And you can see right now that wrestling is in a lot of trouble. That the wrestling fans need to sit there and start demanding a little bit more, not just saying, oh, we're going to like AEW just because it's an alternative to WWE. That's not how it works. You're not going to get any more interest into that product until they start, putting on better performances, and this isn't going to do it. This is them trying to appease the Twitterverse. That's where they're targeting their audience on Twitter, and there's no audience there to be had.
Oh,
They,
speaking about the ratings, they fucking I think that I heard they lost about 200,000 viewers in the first 15 minutes once people realized they weren't going to capitalize on the whole media scrum thing, and then about 400,000 total in the first 30 minutes to hour because people were tuning in to see. So they had interest, and people were tuning in to see a fucking Tony Khan just, I stripped CM Punk of the title, and they're all suspended. Like, motherfucker, you should have started it off with, like I said, fucking Colt Cabana or something. Hangman Adam Page coming out responding to Punk or something, like capitalize off the attention you're getting. Vince McMahon always said there's no such thing as bad publicity. I feel like if this was a thing, Vince would have tried to capitalize off of it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, you would have had Scott. You'd have had Scott in the ring crying, Scott Colton or freaking Colt Cabana in there
Yeah.
crying about how my mom, she's a special lady in my life, and CM Punk exposed her bank account. We have a bank account, something like
Yeah.
that. It would have been something, but like freaking. This is one of the things that's like, what are you doing? What are you doing with this product? And like I said, I don't watch it. So, like a lot of the people I'm not even familiar with, whenever freaking they talk about Nick and Matt and fucking Ace Steel and all this other shit, it's like Greek to me. It's like I go into screensaver mode because I don't know who any of these people are because I don't watch it. I'm a little bit more familiar with WWE than I am AEW, but I'm not even that familiar with WWE anymore. So I mean, it's not the little niche market that you're trying to do. It's not the what is the Jim Cornette call it the little trampoline group that made this little organization. Those people are always going to watch the product. Are you going to get any interest back from the old wrestling fans? Because you could sit there and say, no, we're trying to cater to this fan or this demographic or whatever the hell you're trying to cater to. And, you're not doing it. You need to cater to the wrestling fans. It doesn't matter the 18 to 39s, whatever demographic that you're going to try to pretend and throw out there to say that you're somehow a success. We know you're not a success. You're not a successful company. And WWE is not a successful company. The whole industry is dying off. And what do you plan on doing to fix it? Because sitting here and cherry picking these little statements to throw out there, these little placebos that you use to sit there and claim how, oh, yeah, these people are awesome and how this product is awesome, it's not going to work whenever your company goes under, whenever you can't keep the lights on anymore. And the sheer fact that you had this media scrum and you look dysfunctional now as a company, as an organization, and you're not even going to try to play off of it. I mean, they need some help. Tony needs some help in creative. There's just no other way to put it. And stop. If did you watch it? You watched the Scrum, right?
Some of it. I didn't watch it all. I saw the part with CM Punk, and then I saw a part where Keith Lee and his tag team partner. Did you see that? They were
No.
fucking disrespecting Tony Khan right there too. So this is where I'm starting to think it's not a work, and that these guys coming over from WWE have this attitude that they came from WWE, so they deserve to be treated a certain way. They deserve to be booked higher on the card, which I don't know, maybe they do. But the way that they were looking at Tony Khan when he was, because these journalists were saying the Acclaimed should have won the tag titles. And those two were given attitude. And Tony Khan said they may do a rematch in New York or something. And both of Keith Lee and his partner said, "Why? Why?" And they were mad, dude, on their face. They were pissed. I'm thinking, why the fuck are you sitting here talking to your boss like that in public? Like,
Yeah, because see,
anywhere
that
else,
couldn't be
their ass,
me. That couldn't be
anywhere else,
me.
their ass would have been reprimanded.
Yeah, that couldn't have been me or you. You know what I'm saying? Because we would have lit into their ass. Wait a minute, excuse me? You need to take your ass back to there to the fucking back. I don't want to hear shit out of you anymore. And then you question how many fucking zeros are on that check that I'm going to sit there and pay you for the rest of the year. And until you fucking figure it out, then you can go back to the fucking unemployment line. Because I ain't going to hear the shit. You know, I signed you. I can cut you just as easy. But yeah, you know, fucking CM Punk totally. Did you see Tony Khan during that press conference? He looked like he was afraid to. He just was afraid to say anything. It was just a nightmare, man.
And this is why you don't build friendships with your employees, because then you start thinking, oh, we're buddies, and they will trample your ass. They'll be like, oh, well, we built a friendship. Now I can talk to you any way I want. It's like, no, you can't. You don't see fucking. I never seen any wrestlers talking to Vince like that in public. I'm just saying, I don't see them doing that. Of course, they don't do the press conferences or media scrums like AEW does, but still, I could never see Vince taking that kind of disrespect in a setting like that.
Yeah,
You
me
know,
neither.
he got mouthy with a reporter after Owen Hart fell to his death. He's like, "It's not the time for you to be in the spotlight." Basically, like, shut the fuck up, bitch. Somebody didn't even work for him. So, yeah, man, Tony needs to grow a spine and start laying the law down.
I think part of Tony's problem is he's like one of these fucking millennials that's like he doesn't want to be seen as as a bad guy. You know, he wants to see
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm. It's the passive aggressive approach, and you know, he don't want to sit there. But see, like you and I, we come from a whole different mindset to where it's like, CM Punk would have came back out there and would have said, "It's not his." Wait a minute, what the fuck did you just say? Wasn't my job? I don't know who gave you fucking ownership. I didn't remember signing you as a fucking part owner of this fucking company. I think I remember my name going on those little $5 million checks. Whose name was it? Phil? Was it? Whose name is it that signs the bottom of that motherfucker? Because it certainly isn't Phil Brooks. So I mean, you know, but I mean, like I said, you know, he Tony Khan doesn't have any directions. I meant, you know, he they haven't been able to build any interest to their product. And I meant their only claim to fame is that they beat like a third show of WWE's, and it was a developmental show. And, you know,
Yeah.
that's your only claim to
Even
fame.
Triple H did an interview with Ariel Helwani. He said the exact same thing. He said, "Congratulations, you beat our developmental show. Good
Um,
job, guys."
that that that's basically like you take the New York Yankees and you put them on a night in the World Series. Let's say that they're playing the New York Mets, right? The New York Yankees and the New York Mets are in the World Series, and then they're all of a sudden bragging because they beat like some farm league fucking Astro Comets fucking minor league team in fucking Houston, saying, "Look, we beat the Houston Astro Comets that are out of Division 2A." That doesn't make any sense. But that's basically what, you know, what Tony Khan's, you know, bragging about. And it's like if you went head to head with any other of the WWE shows, you wouldn't beat them.
I mean, I got it because it was a brand new company and they were beating a product associated with WWE. So, I mean, that was kind of like, it's okay. You know, you're not beating Raw or SmackDown. I mean, I wish they would have been more of a threat there. But they still haven't even touched their biggest number, which was the first show. I think that they could have really been close to that um, with everything that happened, but they just fucking dropped the ball, you know? And I don't know if Tony Khan's like, this is too much negative publicity, and, you know, he just wanted to kind of move on from the whole situation. But I feel like somehow, some way they should have at least addressed it and make a storyline out of it. Fuck, I mean, you didn't ask for this, maybe, but here it is. Take advantage of it.
Yeah, yeah, and I agree. Um, and the whole thing is, it's like you look at it, and I think that, and I believe this, and I'll stick by it. I think that if Tony Khan would have like brought in somebody, if he would have worked, because he was working doing the stupid, which was already done. It was a ripoff of what they were doing in TNA Impact and stuff before with Lucha Underground and various other companies. They were already doing something similar, but he bought in the open door. So now he's working with NWA, he's working with Lucha, he's working with Impact, he's going on these shows, he's trying to utilize this talent from other companies. What Tony should have done was he should have went to somebody like a Billy Corrigan who's had recent success in the business. So we know that there's a formula there to have success in the professional wrestling business. It exists. Whenever Billy Corrigan was in TNA, they had a lot of success, particularly with the Broken Hardys, with a lot of stuff that they were doing with their X division, with the Decay stuff. They had a lot of great characters. There was still interest there in the professional wrestling product. They even got on TMZ, and so it's there. It could be had. But Tony Khan treats this like a fucking e-fed. You know what I'm saying? He treats it like, oh, it's my friends, and Kenny Omega should be the title holder. It's like I said, whenever CM Punk came in, what he should have done was he should have sorry, trying to make some mac and cheese. But what he should have done was brought CM Punk in as a heel. Bring CM Punk in as a heel. The stuff that he's doing right now with MJF with the mask. How hard would it be to bring in a Braun Strowman, to bring in a Crimson, to go ahead and put in a stable, wear these masks, they're all over the arena, and to bring him in as a heel, give Sting the title, and then set Sting versus CM Punk, and then have him be like a heel faction. That would have worked, but they didn't do that.
Well, they couldn't do Braun Strowman because he just went back to WWE. So he went back to WWE on Raw this past Monday.
I'm talking about whenever CM Punk first came in August, and the links in the chat there is Slick Scooter, but no, yeah, this was whenever they first started, and I think that could have worked. It should have always been Sting versus CM Punk, and put the title on Sting, bring in CM, because they knew that CM Punk was going to come in, and they should have done more with that. It just they didn't do they didn't do anything with it.
Do you feel like this could be comparable to the whole Montreal Screwjob thing? And let me explain. From the aspect that the Montreal Screwjob was viewed as a shoot, right? They legitimately did all that shit with Brett. They screwed him over. It was all. I mean, there's people that say it could have been a work, whatever. But from that point of some shit went down, people found out about it, because it was pretty clear the way it ended, something wasn't right with that. And so pretty much they got a lot of attention due to that. I'm not saying it's as big as that. I'm just saying it was probably the closest thing AEW will ever get to that kind of publicity and attention and everything. And could you have imagined if Vince just fucking stripped Shawn Michaels of the title and suspended him for like 6 months and then just took him off TV, and then they had this tournament for the title and Vince didn't show up on camera with a black eye? You know what I mean? Like if Punk punched one of the Young Bucks, they should have had him on fucking camera with a black eye. Show it like, I got fucking hit. Yeah, he threw a chair and he hit me in the face and knocked my ass out. I'm gonna fuck him up now. Like something, anything. But they just completely, it's like a PR, like they're sitting here trying to hide all this shit that supposedly happened. And How the fuck are you capitalizing on that by ignoring it? It's fucking stupid.
Yeah, yeah, it really is. And yeah, I heard that they were like, you know, whenever I was like, man, whenever they said that they were gonna that CM Punk wasn't there and that they were having this title and stuff like that, well, I'm like, well, this was a waste of fucking time. Watching the media scrum, has now become a waste of time because you didn't do anything with it. And everybody else thought it looks kind of silly. It looks kind of amateurish. And Eric Bischoff said that pretty much. He said it made Tony Khan look like an amateur. You listen to Jim Cornette, and Jim Cornette loves CM Punk. He's just so in love with CM Punk. But he even has to sit there and look at fucking Tony Khan, and I mean, it makes you look stupid. And people are laughing at you right now. Nobody's going to invest in watching this company if they don't think that there's anything goes. I mean,
they could push like start having people disrespect Tony Khan on the show, or like he's a pushover, and just run with that. Start building that up. Like nobody respects Tony Khan behind the scenes. But they're gonna have to do something with it to where Tony Khan's like, you know what, fuck this. I'm the boss. What I say goes, and whether he has to bring in someone as like a GM that is more capable. I mean, William Regal did pretty good as the commissioner of WWF. So somebody, I'm just saying as an example, doesn't have to be Regal. Somebody like Regal that could come in, lay the law down, and say, this is how shit's going to go. And per Tony Khan, this is what's going to happen, start making these people's lives a living hell, kind of what Vince did to Stone Cold. They have that opportunity, but it's like they're just blowing it, missing it away. And I don't understand it. It's like, do these motherfuckers want to succeed? Do they want to be competitive? Because Tony Khan sit there bitching about WWE doing some shows this weekend. It's like, who fucking cares, dude? Focus on your product, make your product better, and people will watch if he brings it to the level it needs to be. But I think Tony Khan's more like a fan, and he's got that fan mentality. I don't know that he has it in him to be this creative leader, that he really needs to be. I just don't think he has it in him.
Yeah, I think I heard Conan or was it fucking Disco Inferno say that there was like some role playing game for wrestling that he used to play the booker or something like that, and that's where he got the idea that he thought he could run a wrestling company. But anyways, how's it going, Slick Scooter?
Doing pretty good, Bubby. How you been?
Doing pretty good.
I see that you guys are still doing it, man.
Yeah, barely.
Nah, dude, you guys are legends, man.
Yeah, but we don't.
Scotty Hall. I know that. Please have a seat. I knew that.
Sitting there talking about it not that long.
You guys remember, yay. Oh, God, it's been a long time.
I said, I remember Scotty Hall and having feuds with Scotty Hall, and your girlfriend was Sarah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, whatever happened to them?
Well, I just started working. I got away from it. It was driving me crazy. It started taking over my life, like the wrestling. When the YWC starts coming home with you, I don't like it, That place is awful.
Same here, man. Same here. Got to focus on real life.
How you been, Bubby? I got one I was going to send you out before I butted in. That's what I was going to say. I was going to say Poston, but I ain't got there yet. You're Prodigal Hill now, but it's been a long time. Remember them with names 187? Keep getting banned all the time.
Yeah.
Is Wrestling Jesus on here still?
I don't know really. He had a meltdown a few months ago, and I don't know if he ever created another channel after that or not. But
I'm friends with.
He's back on Messenger.
Yeah.
So how do you guys really feel about this Punk situation? I think he's a crybaby, man. He's just full of brat. I mean, he's a spoiled brat that can't win in a real fight. So you can at least challenge him. So.
I mean, I'm mixed because it was entertaining listening to him sit there and bury everybody.
Well, it's
but
Bill,
at the same time, it's the same old shit from him. He didn't elevate no one. MJF made his big return, and Punk pretty much buried that too. It's like,
I think MJF lifted him, man.
yeah, I'm
Being
just
honest.
saying that instead of people talking about MJF returning, now they were talking about irrelevant ass Colt Cabana. Like, who fucking cares about Colt Cabana?
Yeah, I know. It's always fucking Colt Cabana with fucking CM Punk. Holy shit. Even
Yeah.
whenever he fucking got kicked out.
We were talking about this in 2013 and 2014, man, when he first left. It was like, it was talking about this 20 years ago almost, 10 years ago.
Right. Well, Punk got upset because the dirt sheet riders were talking bad about him, and it's like, motherfucker, didn't you throw like some autograph books in the trash can at the airport? He made some woman cry too. Like, this guy's an asshole.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I don't know what he's sitting there bitching about. Like, he deserves respect. Tony Atlas tried to give him some advice, and CM Punk shit all over it. So everything that CM Punk says, he doesn't follow his own advice.
Hey,
He's a
Poston, would you
fucking
sell your
hypocrite.
soul for an ice cream bar? I mean,
Oh,
that's
no.
what it, hell
No,
no.
I don't think so. I don't think
No,
I'm that fucking hard up for a Klondike. Sorry.
no, but I mean, that's what he treats him, and he thinks he's a god. You know, I mean, he is good. I mean, on the mic, but as far as wrestling, he's just. I mean, Daniel Bryan's better than he is.
It seems like the only time that he's really good is when he's bitter. Whenever he has these fucking sour grapes at The Rock. That's the only time he's really that good. Because, to be honest with you, this is probably the best work he's done since he was in AEW and as a fucking media scrum. So,
But that's the key word you just said. What if it is all the work? Because there weren't no cops called or anything. They said on the police reports, nobody reported the police or nothing. So they could be working everybody, man, just suspending and getting eyes on because they had to do something. Clash at the Castle was amazing. That was like 1990s. If you guys watched it, it was great. The
I
UK
heard it
crowd
was
was
good.
amazing. Oh my
I heard it was
God,
really good.
because
But,
they were like, oh, Drew McIntyre. I mean, it's awesome, dude. It's like Hogan and back Ultimate Warrior stuff. I like that pay per view. Triple H is doing good, man. Vince
yeah.
actually let him do some things now.
Yeah, that'll be good if they can, start getting some momentum. But it's going to be kind of hard for the wrestling business to get it back at the fan base. And whenever I say the fan base, I mean the original wrestling fans, not the fan base that fucking they were trying to go after whenever Stephanie took over and bringing in people like Wiz Khalifa and various other entertainers to try and appease to the fucking pop culture fan. That was a bad idea. And
They're just such a conglomerate, man. And like they want to sell to Disney. If they sell to Disney, I wouldn't ever watch it again. I don't like Disney stuff, man. It creeps me out. All the stuff that's hidden in it and crap, when he was
yeah, it's
a
getting to
white
be unwatchable
supremacist,
for
pretty much.
me. And I used to love
Yeah,
the fucking
I
Avengers
did
shit,
too.
but I mean, it's getting to be to where you can't even watch it anymore. It's just they're just blatant with it now.
But do you think that? I mean, I could see Punk, Tony Khan, and all this coming together to be the greatest, biggest clash of like the next All Out or whatever. Be Kenny Omega versus CM Punk. That's what I think is what it
Oh,
lead up to.
Jesus, that would be fucking lame. I'm just gonna say that right now. That would be lame. And I'm just saying that people won't tune in to watch it because of course some people will. I just don't see how this is going to get anybody interested into the product
I think he should
outside of
fire
the.
his ass. I don't think he should put up with that crap. I would have been like, dude, I pay you a lot of money, man. You're sitting here trashing everybody in front of me. That's why I think it's a work. I want to sit there and take that, no matter who it is. It's just CM Punk. The name fits the brand, man. He's a punk. Because I mean, he can't. I mean, he's already proven that. I mean, he'd probably kick my ass, but I mean, still, I try because I know that at least somebody in the UFC beat him 3 times, but they gave him one. So I mean, he wants to go for a real fight. He ran his mouth too much, I think.
Yeah,
He didn't have a
yeah.
good career in UFC.
Just listening to, you know, I don't know. What do you think, Dark Horse?
Whether it's a work or not, I mean, it could go either way because he's got the reputation of being a shit stir behind the scenes.
Amen.
Booker T has talked about how disrespectful he was. And so it's basically like everything that's being said. Booker T said that sounds just like him. So I mean, they could know. Obviously, they would know that he's got this reputation. They could be playing off of that, or he could just be acting like his typical self. I mean, I don't know. I just find it a little strange that nobody recorded the whole incident with everybody that
There
has
you
cell
go.
phones. They didn't record the fight.
Mm-mm.
You would feel like that would have been put out there. So I don't
Especially
know.
with a girl having a broken foot and they trying to get the dog out and people biting each other. Somebody would have had a cell phone. Christopher
Yeah.
Daniels had time to grab one before. They always keep it on their side. They're vice presidents. Even in their tots, they probably got a cell phone.
Well, did you hear about the chief legal officer or something that was
Oh yeah, the
supposedly
one
right there?
the next
Now
to Tony Khan.
that seems a little odd to me. Why is the chief legal officer right there when
Because
all
it's
this
for
is going
placement to
down?
make sure nothing's going down that it's not supposed to. So I mean, it could have been an elaborate setup to make it look like it was. So they had to play it all out, and then they did the act, and now they're all suspended. And then Punk's got injury because they stripped the title. Even he may be leaving, but that's how they had to do it because to keep him off TV for 8 months because he's just going to write his contract out and leave. I guess
Well, plus
he should.
he's already on going to be on an injured list for 6 to 8 months anyways. So
Yeah, that's weird that he got that bicep tear. But do you think, because I mean, he's injury prone now and it's off
he
the,
didn't seem hurt at the press conference. He wasn't agonizing in pain. He was sitting there eating muffins and drinking his little sparkling soda. So
I know, and taking off his tape like a raging maniac, leaving the blood on his face. He could have wiped it off at big ass towel. We know you're injured, brother, but God,
yeah,
it's over. Like,
I just found it strange that they showed the security running by, that they took and had Jericho say some shit went down. Like, there's a lot of things that point to it being a work. There's
and
also
plus,
things
I
that,
mean,
like,
you
why
guys
the
have
fuck
been
would
doing this for a long time too. That it makes perfect sense because that he created all this drama, getting all the eyes off of WWE onto them, and then he goes down because everybody said that's just CM Punk, and they're letting him go with it, and then Kenny Omega because you think with they started that Cody Rhodes, Kenny Omega, and the Bucks started that company, and you think that Kenny Omega and then would have been on board with this because they were the trios champions. So why weren't they at the media scrum? You know, that's why I think it's a setup. It has to be. They had to win it, and I mean, it could be wrong, but maybe we're the first ones that ever say it, and that'd be like a year down the road. It'd be like, we worked y'all, and we're on record now. But
Yeah. The
at
only
least we had
thing
a
that, like
question.
I said, the only thing with me is I don't understand how it's going to help increase, bring in interest to their product, get ratings and stuff. You know, it seems, because whenever people look at it, whenever people look at Tony Khan with this deer in the headlights look, or the way that they've been disrespecting him, it doesn't make the company look good at all to somebody who's would be interested in watching it.
Or
It
an
looks kind of,
investor or anything.
yeah.
I mean, we know they're capable of taking something and making a work out of it. With the MJF thing, like I said, they waited 3 whole months without him being on the show at all. So he just disappears after telling Tony Khan to go fuck himself. Then he comes back this past Sunday night, and it's clearly like, okay, so he's back now. So it was all the work. So I mean, just because CM Punk's gone and the Young Bucks were stripped, I mean, it could be part of a work. But when they don't follow up on it, and they don't seem to understand that wrestling fans now, like, you need to follow up with that shit immediately. You can't wait 3 months. They should have done something.
I agree
You
with
know,
you, man.
they
The story
they
should
could
have
do
been
something.
MJF through the whole
Do
thing. It should have been all
something on
about MJF.
Rampage. They still have an opportunity. Well, isn't Rampage tonight? I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
Maybe they
was
do.
gonna
Maybe
watch
they'll do
that.
something tonight. But they need to do something to keep people talking about this shit, because it's just I
I
can't
think they
believe
need
that
to
there's.
fire CM Punk. Honestly, I would. I wouldn't put up with that crap, man. Pay
I
that
would
man all that money. Ain't no way. Come back out after 8 years of laying on his butt, man, talking all the crap about wrestling. Now he's crying about it.
Yeah,
And you're
like I
right
said,
back
if
in
it
the
was in
same
the
boat.
ring, then I could understand where it'd be a work, and you can get more stuff.
Exactly. I mean, what do you think it? I mean, do you think that there's a chance? Of what percentage chance would you guys give it? I give it at least I give it a 60% chance of being a work.
That's probably what I give it, 60%.
I mean, to be generous, because I mean that's still I don't want to get played because I felt like I always knew what Hogan and the Warrior and all that stuff was going to happen. Kept up on it. We always predicted it. You guys were predicting Raw back in 2013, 3 months out. So I mean, we can usually stay ahead of it, but they got me here. I'm confused. But I'm like Danielson. I was like, why were the security guards highlighted? And then there wasn't a camera. You'd think that they would be back there with cameras in the back of the stage. At least the what is it, the backstage brawl or whatever that the Spanish God or whatever does or whatever his name is.
CM Punk definitely contradicted himself.
Mm-hmm. Very much so. He ain't as good as he thinks he is, man. He's washed up, I think, but I mean that's just he shouldn't have went to UFC because even Hager, man, he at least won 2 or 3, and even Bobby Lashley won 3, I think. So they have credibility for doing that.
Bobby
Even what
Lashley
is her
won
name?
like
Shayna. Yeah,
16 fights. He won 16 fights.
That's a lot, man. That's Bellator stuff. It's the same thing they do. It's just kickboxing too. I mean, they like Bobby Lashley. I saw him live, man. He's a legit like badass. He's a beast. That's a big old dude.
Yeah, I think everybody kind of figured that CM Punk would probably get his ass kicked in the UFC. I don't think that was too much of a shock. Everybody kind of knew that was a mistake. But like I said, he went there pretty much as a jobber. So,
well, I mean, that's just more.
That's true. I never thought about that.
More of him being a hypocrite, crying about The Rock coming back and taking somebody's spot at Mania. He goes to UFC and takes a fighter's spot on the main card.
Yeah, so that's true. Like, and then he got Mickey Gall beat the crap out of him, dude. Like he beat him in no time.
So that's where I'm like, see the shit he says and he don't follow his own advice. So I could very much see it being real. At the same time, I would probably say 50-50 because I see how it could be staged. They could be trying to do work. Again, they just got done doing one with MJF, so they might try and turn right back around and do another one. But they're fucking stupid if that's what they're trying to do because.
But if it leads to Punk versus MJF, and if MJF was a face there, it may be disgusted that he was sitting there pandering to the crowd. Thank God he took that Buffalo Bills jersey off, and then he threw it down. It's like he turned heel again. But I mean, I don't want them to turn him face. He don't need to be face. He needs to be like Rick Martel, Ravishing Rick Rude type. Like, I don't care.
What's the point of bringing up Colt Cabana like that? That don't make no fucking sense. Why wouldn't he sit there and bitch about MJF leaving? Like, that'd make a little more sense. Like, this motherfucker just leaves and thinks he's going to show back up. Like, go off on MJF or something. Make it about him because he's part of the company. Colt Cabana hasn't been on TV in how long? So
he's on Dark all the time, but they don't ever feature him anymore and moved him to ROH.
It don't make sense.
They have no vision. They have no vision. That's the problem.
Well, they bloated the roster, man. You can't. They had a vision when they had Cody and just like 7, 8 people they had to worry about, and then Brian Pillman's kid and Arn Anderson's kids and Dustin and all of them. That's all you had to deal with was people that knew what they were doing. Now you got all these egos coming in, especially the biggest ego that ever lived coming in. It's like fine. I mean, at least Bryan Danielson's doing good with it. He's doing his job, and William Regal's a good asset to it, but. Other than that, man, Punk always leaves a bad taste in people's mouth, man.
It would really look stupid because Punk won the title 3 months ago and had to drop it, or they did the whole interim title with Moxley, and so Punk never defended that title. Basically, beat Moxley this past Sunday to become champion again, and then just fucking they strip him of the title right after that. So it's like. If it's a work, this is one of the most retarded works that I've ever seen.
You never know with wrestling, man. You can't ever take anything out. We got the finger poke of doom. You know what I mean? That was insane. So I mean, that stuff was just like.
That was the beginning of the death of WCW.
Yeah, there you go. It was WCW. They died that day.
I was actually there too in attendance.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No way. You serious? Yeah. That's cool, man.
Yep. I didn't know at the time that was the beginning of the end.
Did you at least boo?
Yeah, I was pissed. Then the Falcons come out after the show went off the air and made the save for Goldberg.
I can't believe that they took a taser to him, man. God, that was a good one, man. If he stayed off the stuff, he was a good wrestler.
Yeah, he had 3 heart attacks. The fucking hospital they took him to is the one I went to in 2019. It's a shitty hospital. They had me out in the fucking hallway.
You know, dude lived like 7.5 hours, man, after he was took off life support. That's
I
crazy.
know.
He's a tough old dude, you know.
Yeah, he was hanging on for some reason.
What's up?
Scott Hall, they thought he was going to kick out at 299, you know, but he didn't. Now he needs to rest in peace, man. He had a wild life.
Oh man. Well, hey, guys, my phone's about to die because I was
Yeah,
cooking
I got to
dinner.
get off here too, man. I'll get up with y'all later on. Just I subscribe to you. What's yours, Danielson? Dark Horse, whatever.
Purge,
Huh?
Dark Horse Purge.
Okay. I'll add y'all. Thank y'all for letting me join, man. I'll get back up with you whenever I got time.
All right, man. Have
Good
a good
talking to
one,
y'all.
dude.
All right, bye.
Have a good one, Dark Horse, man. I gotta let this phone charge. I just got through cooking dinner, so.
All right. See
All
ya.
right, man. I'll talk to you later.